I believe we are going to be speaking about the climate in Europe and the northern hemisphere, where there is snow, the autumn leaves falling, where there's sunshine, and where there is the flowers growing up, picking up root after a winter, a long winter.
Yeah.
So, let me introduce myself as Abraham Verghese. Namaskaram. Do introduce yourselves.
I'm Jasmine from B-GHUD.
I'm Nancy from B-GHUD.
And so today, like Sir mentioned, we'll be talking about the climates in Western countries.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, you must understand that we get a wrong concept of the Western countries from Christmas cards, from songs sung during Christmas, from reindeers flying in the air, from carriages being carried through the skies, from presents being dropped through chimneys, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful for children and gives them a sense of imagination. But unfortunately, it tends to affect the senior, more mature people also, and they live under the illusion that the Western countries are all snowbound. They are not. The Nordic countries, that is basically Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark, there is a lot of snow. Greenland, which is part of Denmark, then the North American areas, for example, Canada and Russia, there is a lot of snow. And people's lives are very different in those areas compared to the middle part of Europe and compared to the southern part of Europe. The food that they eat is entirely, well, not I wouldn't say entirely different, but there are differences. There are
different food patterns.
And also what you drink.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why people we think that only people in the West drink daily, it's not because drinking is a habit per se, because if it were a habit per se, then you would be having all the hospitals full with alcoholics. And the AA will be very, very busy and will make a real business out of it. Drinking is a social habit.
Also
It is
to
meant
keep
to...
themselves warm in the cold.
Indeed. You find, of course, the other topic that I was going to come to is the change in garments, in garb, right? During the springtime, you will still feel a bit cold, and you're likely to reduce the amount of wool or other material that you have on your coat. You change your gear and not make it really hot, because when you walk, you start to sweat a great deal. Okay.
But still, it's slightly cold.
It is slightly cold. It's beautifully cold, and you get a fresh form of sunshine. Okay, it's very refreshing, and you get the crocus, which is the first flower to come out, and that makes you feel that life is back again. It is a beautiful
Sounds very
feeling,
beautiful.
and the birds come out, and they are also free. And they park themselves in your gardens and so on and so forth. Well, don't be surprised to know this, that it's the case in India as well, and in many other countries too. Okay? We think that we don't have winters, but you go to Kashmir, you go to the north, and you'll see what it is like. You have
don't get the
extremes of
it
in
here,
one
but
place.
Yes.
Okay? Whereas in a small space, countries like Denmark, countries like Holland, Belgium, France, the UK, Poland, and so on, the Baltic areas, they have cold weather, but you also have a good mixed lot with the middle area countries. Whereas in the northern part of Italy, you can find it to be cold at times, and in the southern part, it's nice and warm. Don't forget, the Mediterranean does not ice up, as far as I know. So that itself indicates that there is warm weather around. And there is not that great a distance between North Africa and the continent of Europe. Okay? So then after spring, you've got summer coming on. And summer you get a lot more sunshine.
Continents that you're telling, this uniform climate of summer,
Yes.
is in which continents it?
No, you don't get the uniformity of climate.
In these continents, it's just
And you don't go too far in continents.
Okay.
You see, you get it all around a particular sphere of the globe.
okay.
All right? And they are made up of different countries.
Yeah.
So it changes.
Okay.
And of course, when the sun starts to come out during summer,
Yeah.
it means that the sun has climbed from the southern hemisphere and gone on to the tropics and is going up.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
see the globe.
That's right.
turning.
Okay.
I'm just imagining it in my head how it
All right. And summertime, you wake up automatically at about 4 o'clock and the sun
Sunny?
is shining.
Early morning.
Early morning.
Whoa.
And it's so beautiful because it's so refreshing to see the sun. It is good for your body also.
How
it
warm
makes
is
you,
it during summertime?
It can get up to 90 plus in the shade. So it is quite hot.
Yeah.
And don't forget then that since you're on the northern latitude, your closeness to the sun means that you get affected by ultralight wave,
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet,
So
yes.
we can't be going out without wearing a sunscreen.
Well,
I don't think
you'll not be very wise. If you're of a very light skin, you will not be very wise to expose yourself too
yes.
long and that, because cancer is a matter that is
Do
prevalent
you
over
think
there.
that is one of the reasons that leads to these cancer issues?
Yes, with a lot of European countries, indeed,
Yeah,
it
that's
does.
common.
And they're being given lots of medical advice on it.
But in
So-
general, for people who are planning to migrate to these countries, a general outline that it would be
Better.
Yeah. And the other good thing during summer is you will see the sun out till about 11 o'clock at night. Okay? So you can have beautiful parties extending all through the night and day. Okay? Rather
they
than
have
the
early
day.
dinners. I remember seeing in movies
Right.
series where they have
They normally have their dinner by 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then they gradually make their way to the pubs, where the pubs are divided according to class in many ways, though people today will want to deny it. It is made that way. And that is where you meet up with your friends and so on and so forth. They don't like the idea of inviting friends easily to their homes. They make it a very private place. It's not like what we have in India.
culture is
The
different.
culture is different,
Yes.
okay? And the pub is a place where you share drinks, have a chat with your wife, in an alcoholic state sometimes, and also enter discussions with friends and people are that way, maybe with a lot of strangers also.
But with all the disco, all the songs going
The discos
on,
areas and
That's a
all are quite
different
different.
culture.
That's a different scenario. Okay,
Yeah.
there are certain pubs that have the disco and all that. Okay, but that's where mainly all the
Culture
youngsters
is
go.
Different. Like
Okay.
as the
there is a segregation even in pubs for commercial meetings and
Not segregation. There are different classes. You get the public bar, where the ordinary people go to. You got a private bar, you got a saloon bar, and so on. Okay? And if you are, let's say, well dressed for the evening and you end up in the public bar, you might find the publican coming to you or calling you and saying, "Sir, I think you should go to the other bar."
you
right?
might feel out of
You
place.
feel out of place.
The dress code is like how, like for weddings also, I think in foreign countries, especially in Western countries, they give a dress code.
Dress-
Yes.
So
well, you
it's
see,
all,
when you make it so
casual,
formal,
formal.
And clean cut, it takes away the fun, the enjoyment of being,
I think that's a
enjoying.
whole topic for another day. So I think with regards
me-
to the climate, yes,
Yes.
we can conclude.
Then we come to autumn, where the sun then drops, the nights stretch a bit more, and by the end of autumn, when all the leaves have disappeared and you see empty branches of trees,
And you've seen pictures.
it is very depressing.
Yeah.
But then sometimes the snow can lift you a bit. And the autumn leaves, they look very pretty, very pretty. They are, of mixed hues.
Mixed colors.
Yes. And that goes on till the end of November in Britain. And then you got winter, where
Lights.
everything is burdened and, just
That I
barren.
feel is depressing.
Yes. And the sun, by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Goes down.
not just goes down, it's quite dark.
Yeah.
And that makes
They
you
have
feel very
dinner
depressed.
pretty early.
Yeah. That makes you feel very depressed. And there are illnesses being found by the medical people that relate to this kind of weather condition that makes people depressed. You get psychiatric problems. Okay? The day is short. The night is long.
Longer.
But what, by the time it comes to December, won't it be lit up by the Christmas bliss?
That is all temporary.
Yeah.
That is all just a celebration.
Just a few
Nobody
days.
keeps electric lights burning for
That's in
to
movies a lot.
highlight your whole place.
It
Those-
won't be. So it's just the highlights in the movies that.
That's all. That's all. They have made
no.
they make you think. They make you think that there is no better place on earth than in the Western countries.
That's
That is not the case.
depressing.
All you got to do is go and see Diwali, okay, where it is properly celebrated. That is the festival of lights.
Yeah, so it's just that point of
In
time.
Gulf countries, once Christmas starts till the next autumn, it would be Christmas.
Yeah,
Day.
well, you see, this is it. And the English and the Europeans are very happy because to them that is actually their culture, which they have introduced into the Middle East. Okay, but sadly we are not wary that it has got its limitations. It's not how it appears on picture postcards and so on and so forth. The reality is very, very different. It is starkly dark, okay, and it's barren. The whole scenario is naked, and you see a lot of snow, which makes it balance a bit, okay.
So,
and
that's-
winter time, the sunrise is very late, the sunset is very early. So much so that once you go to that dark period, when spring comes, you pick up. The lambs are out, okay, the rabbits are out, the birds are out, the flowers are out, the trees begin to sprout their leaves, and it's a beautiful
sounds-
start of life.
That sounds really beautiful. And
Okay.
on that note, I hope you enjoyed, as we enjoyed, the journey through different seasons. And I hope you're with us in spring right now. And so that's all from us. Thank you so much.
Namaskaram.
Thank you.